Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kelvin, your host of Situations, the podcast.
And I'm your co-host, Miss Deanna. What's up, y'all?
How everybody out there doing today? Tiana, how you feeling today?
I'm pretty good. Waiting on spring to fight back, but we good.
I know, right? This weather don't know what it want to do.
Bipolar.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, as you guys know, we are into season 5. This is our second episode into season 5. And I just want to say once again, I can't stress this enough. I just want to say thank you guys for all the love and support that you've been giving us thus far. And we ask that you just continue to show your love and show that support. That motivates us to get up, and put these episodes together for you guys. And we hope you really, really like this episode for today. Okay, Thiana, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I think we're gonna have another good one today. I think we got a good one. So
Okay.
today's title is Blinded by Love, Why Her Intuition Missed His Pain.
Mm,
Okay. Sounds interesting,
okay.
right?
It does.
Okay. So that's what today's title is. Blinded by Love, Why Her Intuition Missed His Pain.
Okay.
So I'm gonna open up with this question for you.
Okay.
Why do women often say they have strong intuitions but still miss the sign of their man being unhappy?
They don't follow the intuition. They follow what they want.
When you say they follow what they want, what do you mean?
Because it could be a red flag or a green flag. And if they don't have it in their mind that they want that, then they not rolling with that. He ain't the one and he could be the one. Or
Right,
he not the one but I like him, so we gonna see. I'm different.
right,
He
right,
gonna be
right,
different with me. You know?
right,
So there you go.
right. Okay, well, you know what? I I took a different approach,
Uh,
and what I said was this. I wrote mine down
okay.
because I definitely didn't want to forget what I wanted to say with
Okay.
this particular question.
Hmm.
What I said was because intuition can be clouded by assumption, many women believe
Okay.
things are fine if a man isn't complaining, when their silence actually can mean emotional withdrawal.
I agree with that.
Right? That's how I feel about it. Just because the man not saying anything, that doesn't mean
Right.
he's not going through something.
Right.
His silence very well speaks volume, if that
Right.
makes sense.
It does.
So
But as an adult, if you don't communicate,
facts.
you know,
That's true.
sometimes women can say, babe, are you okay? Or be like that, and the man will call her clingy. But then if she just laid back and he seemed fine and he never say nothing, how does she know something's wrong?
But that goes to show you need to know your partner. Because if this is not hate, if your partner is, let's say for instance, you for an example. Let's say for instance, I know the type of woman you are. I
Right.
know you like to laugh, you like to joke, you like to play. And then
Right.
all of a sudden one day you just quiet. You're not your normal self. And I
Hmm.
pick up on that. That's me knowing
Right.
that's me knowing my partner.
Right.
So
I
if you
agree
don't
with
know
that.
your partner,
Right.
then quite naturally, you would never know that man probably been checked out months ago.
Exactly.
So you have to know your partner. That's
I
basically
mean,
that's
well,
basically the
right.
nutshell.
It is. That means she's just being selfish.
All right. Okay. With her being selfish, let me ask you
Hmm.
this:
Okay.
could a man's silence be mistaken for peace instead of pain?
It could be, but if a man is at peace, you should be able to tell that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, if he's in pain, there may be some withdrawals.
Right. I agree.
Like you said, if he's not, usually maybe he's affectionate or he's playful, or whatever his love languages may be, and he's not being that, you need to be able to tap in, and as a woman, your intuition, or just being a sense of, you should see something that's wrong or off.
Right. But sometimes men are often taught to suffer in silence. So what that looks like, what it look like to you might feel like he's calm, but
Right.
it may be an emotional shutdown.
You're right.
So
But
sometimes you have to pay attention to all the signs. You just can't.
you're
Once
right.
again, it goes back to knowing your partner.
Right.
You have to know your
But
partner to be able to detect when something is actually wrong.
right.
Because if
But
you
if we
if you
going
like I
back
said,
to
go ahead. I'm sorry.
if we going back to that safe space, if she's asking, hey, are you okay? If you ever need to talk, I'm here. I'm gonna listen to you completely, and then I'll respond after you're done, whatever the case may be. If the man is used to shutting down, and that's a trauma that he has created, or that was given to him or put on him when he was younger, at one point, as him being an adult, do he say, I don't want to suffer in silence anymore?
Right. Right.
Because you can't blame the woman if he never wants to come up out of that shell of suffering in silence.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
With that being said, are women often conditioned to focus on how they feel rather than how their partner feel?
You said, are they I don't know. Not all.
Okay.
No. Because when you look at the tradition, when little girls are brought up, they're basically taught how to be a wife. If we go back to how things were traditionally, it
Right.
wasn't never really about what the woman wanted to do. You need to know how to cook. You need to take care of yourself. Everything was to be a wife or appeasing to the man.
Right. Well, I'm gonna take a different approach. I'm gonna
Hmm.
say yes, and the reason I say
Okay.
yes is because society often tell women to prioritize their emotional needs.
Hmm.
Unintentionally ignoring their partner's emotional cues. Those are, what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
if you, let me see, how can I say this without making it sound too biased? Um,
I get what you're saying. So I could pay attention to my emotional needs, and I could be tapped in and be cool or whatever, but I still could be attentive to yours as well without being selfish. You see what I'm saying? Like if
right,
you're down, that don't mean I have to get an attitude because you're down, because I know I haven't done anything to you. The only thing I could do is I'm in a good space. I can just only be attentive to you to see where you need help at.
right, okay, makes sense. It makes sense.
Because sometimes when the woman don't get her way, or if she feel like he's non-responsible, this and that, then she get an attitude. But you don't have to get an attitude, but it shouldn't be pulling teeth either. You know what I'm saying? If she's providing a safe place,
Absolutely.
but it's not going to be a safe place until he's open to receiving it. It doesn't matter. The woman could be trying to cater to him 24/7 and making sure he's okay and always checking on him and checking in, because she may feel like he needs a little more attention because he held stuff in. He was suffering in silence. But that's what I'm saying. If he never opens up to say, yes, I want to move past this moment in my life and like bear, you know, me not suffering the silence anymore, it will never be a safe space.
Right. So, how do society expectations stop men from expressing unhappiness openly?
First of all, people need to stop being with toxic people. If we just going off of society today, it to me it's all screwed up. Don't nobody care about nobody feelings. It's what you in love for the moment, and then boom, it's over.
Right.
It wasn't no real foundation established. It wasn't no real feelings met. You know what I'm saying? People put on fluff. They showed up in their representatives, and then as soon as they didn't get what they want, they was out of there. It
Right.
needs to be effective communication, and that's what people are not doing. That's where the disconnect is at.
Right. Because
If you ask
growing up
your
as a young child, as a
right,
yeah, as a young male, you're often always told to man up, toughen
Hmm.
up, you
Right.
know, and that's something that's been put on you since
Right.
practically since birth,
Right.
and when you're told something of that magnitude, it makes you hide all your emotions
Right.
because in the back of your mind, all your life you've been told to man up,
Right.
be
So this is what
tough,
I say. You can't choose your family, right?
right?
And we've all probably had some emotional trauma built from, some childhood experiences or somebody telling us what to do or what not to do. But when you become an adult, you done been in relationships, you done had friendships, you done had some different experiences, no matter what type of relationship it was in your life. When you become an adult, you get to start building your circle how you want it to be.
Right.
And if
Okay.
you decided, well, I'm building my circle on trust, on honesty, on communication, on integrity, on being a safe place to share whatever, whoever don't meet those boundaries, they have to go no matter what qualities you like about them.
Right.
Because when you get finished with all that other stuff, guess what? You can have a mansion, you can have all the nice cars, you can have, $1 billion businesses and still be unhappy because you don't have a safe place. That's crazy. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's like as little as it may seem, it is a big issue, and people need to put it at the forefront. If you don't feel like you have a safe space to communicate, to be yourself, or whatever case may be, get the hell up out of there.
Right. I totally agree with you 100%.
And the number one way you don't have a safe space if you're always in conflict with yourself. When you have a conversation with somebody and now it's some gaslighting or manipulation or something going on, now you going back to question or they do something, now you questioning, well, did they mean it like that? Am I overthinking? I tell people you can overthink a million things. You cannot make up a feeling. When that feeling hits your spirit, when it hits your gut, you can't make that up. Stop trying
Right.
to fight yourself to make it be something else other than what it is. Now, what you can do is go to them and communicate. If they don't, then yeah, you need that's not a safe space for you. And if they're not trying to hear you out and trying to change some things or compromise them, have some clarification there, that might not be your person
Right. I agree. I agree.
because it's only gonna get worse. It's gonna keep getting worse. I've been through it. You dismiss one thing, oh well, he probably had a bad day. You know what I'm saying? When you love a person, you dismiss a lot of things. You make things okay, but
Right.
they never be okay. They just keep getting worse. You have to get the hell up out of there.
Yeah.
Because I know you have to grow with a person, but you know some things are
Looking to boost your
non-negotiable.
brand?
You know what I'm
Advertise
saying?
with
Because if they never
Situations, the
gonna change,
podcast where real life stories meet real time conversations. Reach engaged listeners and grow your business today.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. Go back and finish your statement.
I was just saying like if the person never changed and you see they just got a one-track mindset on things or whatever, that might not be the person for you.
Right. Okay. Well, I do have a clip that we're going to be running today, and it's
Okay.
from a woman's perspective. So
Hmm.
I want you guys to give us your feedback on what you're going to hear and how she's going to be delivering it. Because to me, by this coming from a woman and it's a woman perspective, I thought it was very important that we shine some light on this particular subject because I haven't seen too many women take this approach and say the
Okay.
things they said about in the support of a man. Okay.
Okay.
So I
Hmm.
guess I just want you guys to, when you guys see this video, I want you guys to comment and tell us what you think. Like I said, it's something that we didn't say. It's coming from
Right.
it's a woman's perspective. So just tell us how you feel about it. So, do you think women assume men are always emotionally okay unless they say otherwise?
I would say yes, they assume that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree because, many do. But the problem is that most men won't say anything. You
Right.
know, uh, me, I'm one of those men. if I'm going through something, you never know I'm going through something because
So
I
even if
don't
she
open
asks
up.
you, but even if
Say it
she asks
again.
you, like, babe, what's wrong? Is everything okay with you? And then you say, fine. So that's what I'm saying. Then what? Then what?
All right. Well, 'cause
Because
I
at
know
that
I'm
point,
definitely one of those type of men because
but you see what I'm saying? But if you have a person that's there to help and they're caring and trying to find out what's going with you and you choosing not to open up, you know what I'm saying? That's your
right,
problem. Like, you have to come up out of that so the person can love you. They trying to learn how to love you. You know what I'm saying? Not each person is different. It ain't no cookie cutter. Oh, my last three boyfriends, I treated them like this, so I'm gonna treat him like that too. No, he different.
right. So let me ask you this: is it possible that women mistake a man's routine for relationship satisfaction?
I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna answer. I say yes. Because routine doesn't equal commitment. It can just mean he just checked out and doesn't want to, rock the boat. He don't want to start something. You understand what I'm
But
saying?
that don't mean satisfaction either.
Depends on how you look at it.
Who
It
is that
might be.
satisfying?
It's probably satisfying to him because he don't, like he said, he don't want to rock the boat. He don't want to cause a bigger issue.
So he never, but then he never grow and change, and he's still the same way.
Okay.
You see what I'm
So
saying?
I'll
So
tell you what we're gonna do at this.
how the woman gonna help him
Right.
if he keep
I tell you what.
deflecting? Okay.
Let's do this here. Let's do this.
Hmm.
We're gonna run the clip, and after the clip, I want you to give me your opinion. People in the
Okay.
comments, I want you, after you review this clip, I want you guys to comment. Was she right? Was she wrong? Was she delusional? I just want your feedback. Okay.
Okay.
Don't shoot the messenger, but a lot of women only use their woman's intuition to tell them whenever their man is doing something wrong. If that man is lying, cheating, sliding in somebody's DM, entertaining somebody, that intuition kick in hella strong. All of a sudden, I had a feeling about something whenever he's doing something wrong. But why does it not work whenever that man's needs are not being met? Why does that intuition not kick in whenever he's not happy? Whenever he's afraid to have a real conversation with you because you are police tone and every time y'all have any kind of conversation that doesn't go your way? Where's the intuition whenever he needs a little bit extra attention, extra time because he's having a rough time, because he's having some personal situations going on and he may just need you to be there for him? Where's the intuition then? Why does it only work if he's doing something absolutely wrong? I ain't gonna hold you. Intuition can be like a superpower, but can we use it for good too?
Okay. Now, after reviewing that clip, do you
Hmm.
think she's wrong for what she said? Do you think she on
No,
point? What's your take on that?
I think she's on point, but I was already speaking on that when I said, "What if the woman is a tensor? What if?" So I was already saying what she said before we watched the clip.
Okay.
What if the woman is tapping in? So I'm saying for good. You know what I'm saying? Um, that means, like you said, you have to be in tune with your partner. You have to be paying attention to your partner. And
Right.
I already said if she's not doing that, she's selfish. So if the intuition only picks up or kicks in when she think he's cheating or when he's entertaining other women or he on Facebook or he doing some other stuff that's negative, that's only for her benefit. That once again, she's selfish.
Right. Well, I think she was dead on. I think she was dead on when
Yeah,
she said because that's the only
absolutely.
time. A lot of times, that's the only time that woman's intuition kick in when they feel that their partner is cheating or did something wrong. Like she said, they don't kick in when um just to find out if their partner is unhappy or not. So
Well, I guess if we want to say the majority, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not that type of person, so I don't be. I figure what she's saying is right, but it don't pertain to me because I don't move like that. So
Right. I mean, it's not going to pertain to every woman. Let me
right,
say that. It definitely doesn't pertain to every woman, but the vast majority of these women,
right.
it pertains to them.
You're
It
right,
definitely pertains
and
to them.
that's what I don't like. Cause guess what? And that's why the men be like that. And then when they get with somebody like us, they don't even know how to be loved properly, and they push you away, and then that woman end up getting hurt because they done went through so many of them.
Right.
And it's like, look, sir, I'm here to see the real you. I don't know what you've been through, and I really don't care. If you want to share that, that's fine. But this is a whole new space over here. We don't move like that over here.
Right.
So that's why I said I always have a conversation with the man up front. Like, look, I want to provide a safe space with you. I want to love you the way you need to be loved. If there's anything that you want to talk to me about, tell me. That's just like if a man wants to go cheat. I don't care if it's down to the very second. If he's out in the club or something like that, he still have to make a decision. If he have a woman, I'm finna go do this, and I gotta lie, or I gotta do this, or I ain't gonna say nothing. Hopefully she don't find out. If you unhappy, you having the thoughts, then we need to sit down. And even if it hurt me or whatever, I would want you to say, I'm having, thoughts about cheating. And I'll be like, okay, well, why? I want to I see that'd be my thing. I want to know why you did it. Like I can get over what you did. I want to know why because that's where the principle and everything come into play at.
Right.
Anybody can make a mistake doing something. Was it premeditated? And if it is, that's what I'm saying. That's when we supposed to be having a conversation.
But do you
And that's
think
why if
men
you can't
drop
talk to
subtle
the person,
hints? But do you think men drop subtle hints if they're unhappy?
I think they do when they be saying, well, babe, could you dress up more? Or, could you do your hair? Or could you put on lingerie? And the women don't be want to do that. Or if they trying to be intimate with them and the woman keeps saying she's sleepy.
Right.
If
Less
she
affection.
letting herself if she letting herself go, you study coming to bed with bonnets and you know what I'm saying, boxes on and flannels. And you wonder why this no, because I know men are visual.
Right.
You dressed up and when you went out to the club and when he scooped you up, you know how you was looking. Where the hell she at?
Right.
So
Right.
it's like when they get you, they get super comfortable and they bury it. And I take pride in dressing up and being happy or whatever. And I'm like, I don't want a man to change because I'm gonna do it whether I'm with a man or not. But I'm like, if I'm with you and I like you, I love you, and all that, I'm gonna be want to do it even more. I like to give surprises. You might be feeling down on the Wednesday, but when you come home and open up that door, you're gonna be like, "Hey, I'm feeling all right." How she know? I didn't
Oh
know,
shit.
but it's just no. But it's you got to keep the spice there. You gotta like. I love seeing men laugh. I love seeing men smile. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like if you that type of woman and you're not selfish, you know, to do those things for him. Like for me, if you like a certain type of candy or gum, I'll get that. If you like a certain drink or Gatorade, anything, I'll get that for you. That's why it just be always the little things. You know what I'm saying? So it's things that women can do, make the man a lunch. Just different stuff that you can do.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Because you have to, because when a man would definitely emotionally check out because, when he becomes less affection, less
Right.
conversational, his replies
Right.
are getting shorter. Those are red
Yes.
flags that often go unnoticed.
I agree. And it all starts with the communication. And a lot of women do be dismissive and they do always want to be right instead of hearing what he have to say. Baby, you not in this by yourself. And you wonder why he walking out the damn door on your ass.
But why do you think women overlook those red flags?
Because they feel like they got them. And they entertain the whole thing, happy wife, happy life. No, it's happy spouse, happy house. Both people got to be happy.
Absolutely. It ain't all about the wife being happy. Both parties have to be happy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But that would be my thing too with the men. If y'all not happy, why the hell do y'all? Because it's some women out here that will make y'all happy. Get the hell up out of there. And what men do? They lie about situations they be in to the nice woman, And then now they want you to be on board with their situation. Sir, you chose to stay there and be unhappy. You could come over here and be happy, or you could
Right.
stay over there and be miserable. But I'm not gonna be your escape. Now, if you want to go, we can go. But I'm not gonna be your escape, and then you going back to being unhappy again.
Right. So, do you think a woman's own um, emotional needs blind her from these struggles?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because sometimes women be having abandonment issues. Um, I could say I had abandonment issues when I was younger. My mom was in and out and on drugs and stuff. My dad wasn't really around or whatever, and I had abandonment issues on both sides. But for me, I became more of a lover, even more. So I just always knew how I wanted to be treated. So when I get with people, I'm treating them how I want them to treat me. I'm not saying you have to be my daddy, you have to be that. But you know what I'm saying? So if I want you to surprise me or have open communication with me, that's what I'm giving. Hey babe, you okay? You need anything today? How's your day going? Are you hungry? Is there anything particular you want to eat? Checking in a relationship after y'all together. Okay, 3 months have passed. How are you feeling now about the relationship? What are some things that you think we should improve on? What are some things you want to work towards? Am I making you happy? The women
Right.
need to ask that question to these men. Am I making you happy? And if not, what can I work on? Or do
Right.
you still want to be here? Like I just be direct.
Right. Because a lot of those conversations definitely need to be had.
Right.
Okay. Do you think women sometimes mistake a man's emotional distance for cheating?
Yep.
Why?
A lot of women want to be the attention receivers.
Okay.
And so the men, their emotional standpoint always get dismissed. Oh, he'll be okay. That's just what they say.
Okay.
I don't know what's wrong with him. I ain't do it. Girl, you ain't doing nothing.
Right. Yeah, because they assume that he's emotionally hurting, and they
Right.
assume that he's stepping out, and that don't even really be the
Right.
case. The man just
Right.
he's just in a bad space.
Right. But you know what? I'll say this too. I think for the men, I think you guys have to take a little more accountability because sometimes your family and your outside friendships affect your relationship. Because if he got his friends study asking him for money or rides or helping them out, being a third wheel or going to get them out of situations and they cheating, and he trying to stay on track, then you got the family. They leaning on him, they bills past due, this and that, they need all this and that, or whatever. And then when he get home, he's emotionally checked out for her, and she may have not done it. You see what I'm saying? So it
Right.
doesn't necessarily always have to come from the other half in the relationship. It could come from all the other forces around it. So I would say to both sides, y'all have to protect y'all relationship. Y'all have to have open communication. Y'all have to be attentive to that person and not your damn family first. That person's supposed to be first. And then y'all, if y'all have, extra to pour out into everybody else. But don't keep pouring out your cup. And then when y'all get to each other, now you blaming each other. No, you should not be on empty from just pouring, pouring, pouring out.
Right. So, do you think men test the waters before they open up?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think men test the water. I think they test women in a few different ways to see how they'll respond, to see how they do things. So it might be, one night that the girl maybe want to go out somewhere. She like, I'm going out with my friends, and he like, oh, babe, I wanted you to stay home and watch a movie with me. Well, I already made plans, so I'm going. I'll be like, you really want me to stay? Okay, I'll stay. You know what I'm saying? So it's just if you love the person, what are you willing to sacrifice for it?
Right. Right.
Because that moment can change his life. You know what I'm saying? Or change his perspective and make him want to open up. But then if something tragic happened to him or he didn't come home, now you crying when you could have fixed it by them girls will be there.
Right. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm gonna do at this time, for those of you that maybe just not checking in, that don't really have an idea of what we speak of, I'm gonna run the clip one more time for those of you that may just be checking in to that way you have a better understanding of what we talking about today.
Don't shoot the messenger, but a lot of women only use their woman's intuition to tell them whenever their man is doing something wrong. If that man is lying, cheating, sliding in somebody's DM, entertaining somebody, that intuition kick in hella strong. All of a sudden, I had a feeling about something whenever he's doing something wrong. But why does it not work whenever that man's needs are not being met? Why does that intuition not kick in whenever he's not happy? Whenever he's afraid to have a real conversation with you because you are police tone and every time y'all have any kind of conversation that doesn't go your way? Where's the intuition whenever he needs a little bit extra attention, extra time because he's having a rough time, because he's having some personal situations going on and he may just need you to be there for him? Where's the intuition then? Why does it only work if he's doing something absolutely wrong? I ain't gonna hold you. Intuition can be like a superpower, but can we use it for good too?
Okay. Now let me ask you this.
Okay.
Why do some women not ask their partner how they really feeling emotionally?
Because they don't care. They selfish. And they don't want to know because it may have to hold them accountable to some stuff. And
Right.
most women don't like to be wrong. I'm just going to say it. They don't.
Right. Or they're afraid of the real answer, or
That's what I just
fear of what he
said.
might say.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
But then it'll be some type of reflection on them in most cases too. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
they don't want to make it about them. He's in the spotlight. This is a you problem. But if you're in a relationship, it's not no you problem. Because you're supposed to drop the you at the damn door and it's supposed to be us.
Us. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So do you think women sometimes view emotional check-ins as nagging?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I agree with that. Because
Because guess
sometimes,
what?
go ahead, I'm sorry.
They may not be great communicators. There's nothing. If somebody called me clingy or whatever, it's that because I'm checking on in on them. I'm seeing if they okay. Did you eat today? What's going on with you? Are you okay or whatever? If that's clingy for you, sir, you're not used to receiving love. You don't know how to be loved properly because that's nurturing. That's not
Right.
clingy.
So with that being said, what does it mean when a man's is present, but he's really not connected?
He's not present. He's just there.
Right. He's just there. Or he didn't check that altogether.
So that's not present. Your physical being is
Now the
there, but your
physical, the
spirit is not.
physical is there. When I
Right.
say present, I mean the physical. The physical is there, but he's not there mentally.
But he's still not there. And then my whole thing is somebody lying because how you that's a disconnect and you that should be strong as hell. That should be a very strong feeling.
Right.
Because my whole thing is if we had a disagreement or like we doing this podcast and if I was in a relationship, my phone on do not disturb and he forgot. Now he thinking I'm just ignoring his calls or whatever. But then he want to sleep on the couch. He there physically, but he checked the hell out. But my whole thing is, I communicated this to you. When I get on my podcast, I put on Do Not Disturb so it won't come through. The calls won't be coming through and we shooting live. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He's there physically, but I'm like, I tell any man, we in a relationship, you're not sleeping on no damn couch. I don't care what's going on.
No matter how mad
We
he
gonna go to
getting.
bed, man, and we gonna fix it.
Okay.
Because guess what? That's a disconnect.
Right.
And that
Right.
bothers me. And it should bother you too. And if you don't, you being at the couch, you might as well spend the night out.
Well, him being on the couch may not solve the problem you all had that put him on the couch, but it also eases the partner's mind that she know where he's at.
Mm-mm. No, that don't.
That don't work.
I don't. No, because I don't. I don't trip on when you leave the house or whatever because I'm gonna be secure in us and what you tell me when you leave the house. I'm not the police. I'm not a damn FBI or detective. I'm not looking for nothing. I'm not going through your phone. I'm not going through your pockets. I mean, if I'm gonna wash your clothes or something, then I'll go through it. If I want to buy you something, I want to see what size you wear. I'm gonna go through it. But other than that, I'm not looking for anything.
Right.
Because guess what? You sleeping on that couch, you not being communicative, all those different things. That lets me know something is off.
Right.
It does something like that too. It's gonna be really strong. So those I don't let stuff like that slide. Ain't no way if I'm in a relationship or I'm talking to a man, I don't talk to you every day. I gotta hear from you every day.
Right. But
And if I don't,
sometimes.
I'm gonna be texting like, is everything okay? What's going on with you? We don't gotta be on the phone for long.
So, do you think pride play a role in that? People, both the parties ignoring one another.
Yes. But that's what I'm saying. But that's not being truthful. That's not being present. Pride, ego, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. All that should be checked at the door. If
Right.
not, then both of y'all go outside and be single and be complaining. Do you want to be happy or no?
Right. You're right. You're
It's
absolutely
not
right.
rocket science. It's not people be saying F love and all that. It's not love. It's your actions. Love is an action word. So when you start checking out, that's not love. That's your pride. That's your ego. That's you being selfish checking in. That's not love checking in.
So let me say this. You being a woman,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
I want you to tell other women what they need to look for to indicate that their man not happy.
If your man is not happy, he may not be engaging with you. Because let me tell you something, men are providers. Men want to show up. Men want to feel needed. You know what I'm saying? They like that stuff. So when they're not communicating to you, and most men want their girl to be like their best friend. So if they not communicating to you, if they moving like they sneaky or they just, non-responsive, nonchalant, you know, uh, sitting on the couch somber, they being off to themselves, they not engaging. All of those are signs.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Y'all heard that from a woman. That's another woman's perspective. So I hope you guys take heed to this and make sure you start paying attention to your partner because you know
Right.
you have to know your partner. You have to know when he's not um at his best or something is
Right.
bothering him. When he gets, like she said, when he gets um quiet,
Mhm.
conversations begin short. He started getting distance. Something
Right.
is bothering him. So you guys got to pay attention to all the signs. Um, so do you think women can create a space for a man to express unhappiness safely?
Yes.
Okay. I,
Because
I,
first of all, the woman have to sit there and not be judgmental and not think that it's something she did. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we could say a lot of times women be doing this, but sometimes that's what I'm saying. If the man has been moving this way their whole life, this could be a new experience for them. But it's still gonna take some time and patience. So don't be in attack mode. Just be there for reassurance. Sometimes people just need a little extra love and a little reassurance.
right,
That's
right. That's
like
for
if you
sure.
have kids, when the teacher has the kids at school, sometimes this kid might need extra attention. Like everybody learning curve is different. Everybody love language is different. Everybody's strong points and weaknesses are different. That's what y'all supposed to be tapping into, and the other one supposed to be able to pick up where the other one is weak at,
Right, right.
or at least hold their
Sometimes,
hand to provide a safe space.
right. Also, I think what needs to happen is they need to listen without fixing and violating each other's feelings, and
Right,
doing it without judgment. I think that
right,
helps as well.
right. I just said that. No judgment.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Man.
And I would say listen to comprehend. Don't listen to reply. You want to hurry up and say something back. Listen and then think about what you're gonna say. I know when we were doing this podcast, when he asked me a question, y'all see my eyes go to the side. I'm thinking about what I want to say before it actually comes out of my mouth. So that's what I be doing. When he asks me something, I do like this. That's because I'm thinking.
Okay. I think. I
Analyze
think.
and take in what you're being asked first before you just blurt something up out of your mouth.
Well, I don't know how. I don't know how that. I don't know how often that's gonna work. Because that's what they do. They looking for. I think me personally. I think women. I ain't gonna say all women. I'm gonna say some women. You know, me personally. I think that women don't take the time to listen to what the man has to say thoroughly before she already has her reply ready and queued up. You know, I
You're
think
right.
there's like you said earlier in the broadcast. Um, you have to listen. You have to listen and pay attention to what's being said. Think about what's being said before
They
you
not doing
blurt out
that.
something. Say
They
it
not
again,
listening
Fiona.
to comprehend. They
Yeah,
not doing that. That's why I said they listening to reply. They not listening to comprehend. Which
right,
go they don't give a hell. It don't matter what you said. I'm still saying this and I'm still right. And now you don't got no more man. Or you got a piece of them.
right. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Looking to boost your brand? Advertise with Situations, the podcast where real-life stories meet real-time conversations. Reach engaged listeners and grow your business today.
Okay, I got one question for you. What do you think women should regularly ask their partner on a daily basis?
How are you doing? Are you happy? Have anything new happened? I'm just checking in with you.
Right,
I love you and I want to make sure you're okay. That man keep hearing that on a consistent basis. He can't help but to feel safe. And if he don't, something wrong with his ass. Because ain't no way. For real.
right,
Are you okay? Do you need anything? How can I you know what I'm saying, cater to you today? How can I be of service of you today? Do you need anything? Are you sure you're okay? Is it something I can do for you?
right. But when y'all take that approach, make sure you mean it. Don't just be
Right.
just saying anything. Say it with some
No,
meaning.
because no, they do it when they want to get something. And that's why the man don't be having a safe place because they didn't got finagled. And they
Right,
use the power of the P. That's what they do when they want to get something. No, it sometimes just cater to him because you're not getting trying to get something out of it. You need to be the giver.
right. Well, um, once again, I think today was another great, amazing episode. You know,
Me too.
I think a lot of great points was made on both ends here today. And I just like for you guys to give
I
us your
agree.
feedback on what you heard today, what you saw as far as the video that we provided to back up, the conversation that we spoke on today.
Right.
Once again, I can't stress this enough. We ask you guys to continue to get over to our channel and make sure you show some love and show some support. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, you know. And once again, I just like to say thank you guys for the subscriptions and the subscribers that we do have and the fan base that we do have thus far. Tiana, you got anything you'd like
Yes.
to add?
This is a safe space, and this is a space where if you feel indifferent or if you're in agreement, either way, come on here and tell us what y'all think. That's what
Right,
we here for. We grown people have dialogue, conversations, exchange. You know what I'm saying?
right,
We're not here to tear one another down. We here shedding light on situations and topics, real life events that's happening, real life feelings that people are happening. Y'all wonder why it's always a battle of the sexes with men and women. We just trying to shed some light on it so maybe we can understand each other better to fix it, to see what we all need. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, um, once again, Fiona, another amazing episode.
I
Um,
enjoyed it.
we got through this one pretty quick as we normally do.
Right.
Like she said, you guys, if you guys want to be a guest on the show, if you have something you want to converse about, by all means, give us a reach out to us and contact us and tell us what what's on your mind, and let us see
Right.
how we can put something together to where it makes
Right.
sense for for everybody, even the person that's going through the situation.
Right.
But until then, I want you guys to continue um, showing the love that you've been showing us thus far, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week for another amazing episode.
Yes.
Okay.
See
All
y'all
right,
next
Fiona.
week.
Huh?
No, I was
Say it
telling
again.
them, see y'all next week.
Yeah, we'll see y'all guys next week. So until then, I see you when I see you. Peace.